In a quiet town at the edge of a river, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was one of the most gifted people in that town. Everyone knew it. His teachers knew it. His friends knew it. And Daniel knew it too. But Daniel had a problem that no one could see from the outside. Every time he was ready to begin, he stopped. Every time a door opened, he stood at the threshold and asked himself 1,000 questions. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if there is a better way? And so Daniel waited, and planned, and thought, and waited some more. Daniel had wanted to open a small business for 3 years. He had filled 7 notebooks with plans. He knew the market. He knew the numbers. He knew exactly what he wanted to build. But every morning, he would sit down, open his notebook, and find one more thing to think about. What if the timing is wrong? What if someone else does it first? What if I run out of money on the 3rd month instead of the 2nd? His friend Sana watched this for years. One evening, she sat across from him at his cluttered desk and said simply, "Daniel, you have planned this business more carefully than most people run one. What are you waiting for?" Daniel looked up. "I just want to be sure," he said. "I want it to be perfect before I start." Sana was quiet for a moment. Then she said something Daniel would not understand until much later. "The river outside your window has been flowing for 1,000 years. It never stopped to wonder if the path was perfect. It just moved." Daniel smiled politely and went back to his notebook. 6 months later, a young woman named Rita moved into the empty shop at the end of Daniel's street. She had half his knowledge, a quarter of his planning, and a fraction of his talent. But she opened anyway. Her first week was messy. Her second week was better. By the 3rd month, people were lining up. Daniel walked past her shop every morning. He told himself, "She got lucky. She doesn't know what she's doing. It won't last." But it lasted. It grew. And one afternoon, Daniel walked in, not as a competitor, but as a customer. He saw Rita behind the counter, laughing with someone, building something imperfect and alive and real. He walked home slowly. He sat at his desk. He looked at notebook number 8, and for the first time, Daniel did not pick up his pen. He sat in silence, and he finally understood. He had not been preparing all these years. He had been hiding. Here is what I want you to take away from this story. Overthinking is not careful thinking. There is a difference. Careful thinking prepares you to move. Overthinking convinces you that moving is dangerous. It dresses itself up as wisdom. It calls itself patience. It tells you, just one more plan, just one more check, just one more reason to wait. But tell me, how many ideas have you buried in notebooks no one will ever read? How many mornings have you spent planning a life you haven't started living? The perfect moment will not arrive. The perfect conditions will not come. The fear will not disappear before you begin. But here is the truth. The people who built something, the ones who created, who started, who changed their lives, were not less afraid than you. They were simply more afraid of standing still. So start. Start badly if you must. Start small if you have to. Start with 7 notebooks and 1 shaking hand, but start. Because the world does not remember the ones who had the most perfect plans. It remembers the ones who moved. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, the only thought that will ever truly change you